I recently added this loafer tutorial to my online shoemaking course, and I have to admit these are probably one of my favorite pairs that I've made recently, because as soon as I finished them, I was wearing them. So let me do a quick run through with you on how I made these loafers. So first and foremost, you need to make sure you've got all the right stuff. I'll leave a full breakdown down in the caption on what leather I used, all the tools and equipment I used, and where to find the patterns, etc., etc. But for the sake of this video, I'm just going to give a quick run through on how it is that you make such a beautiful shoe. So first and foremost, I gathered my supplies and I started by printing out my patterns, making sure that I printed them at 100%, and always check the scale checker to make sure that they have printed correctly. Now, I used my pre-made soles and insoles to make this pair of shoes, which made the whole project really fast because I didn't have to prepare my insoles or anything like that because they're already cut to size. So I went ahead and cut out my leather for my uppers and my leather for my linings, and then got started with the assembly process. As you can see with this loafer, I did what we call a U-bound top line there, which I just think gives it a really nice finished look and just sort of elevates the whole design while making it feel quite structured and a solid shoe. They're also really comfortable because there's no stiffener right up in that top line, so it's not digging in, which I love. So we always want to start with the apron, which is this front area here. I like to get that stitched on, and always make sure that you skive away the excess from the underlay under the apron so that you don't get a ridge showing through the leather in that area. That is my #1 top tip for making a really nice loafer. Once you've got that in place, you can stitch the aprons in place to the main outside piece of the upper, and then you can go ahead and get your back seams stitched in place and folded open as well. At this point, you can add in your lining and stitch your U-binding in place to secure it all together nicely at the top. Now, last but not least, when it comes to the uppers, we have the hardware at the front. Now, I chose to use a bit of hardware. We call this a horse bit, and it's very Gucci, but you don't have to do that. You can do a nice piece of leather to give you more of a penny loafer look and feel, or you can use a different decorative piece there. Sometimes we see a tassel in that area, or you can just totally leave it out if you want it to be a nice, simple, plain loafer as well. I added in my horse bit using 2 little tabs on the side, and I stitched it through the upper only, not the lining. So I made sure I pulled the lining right out of the way before I stitched that in place, and I skived away any excess leather underneath as well. Once I'd done that, it was ready to last the linings. So I stretched my uppers over the last and attached the lining onto the underside of the insole board. I trimmed away the excess and moved on to adding in my stiffeners. Once I got those super smooth, I lasted my upper and was sure to cut away any excess as neatly as I possibly could, making sure that my pleats were super far away from the edges so that we got a really nice clean finish around the toe and the heel of the shoes. At that stage, I just wanted to create a really nice flat surface on the bottom for my sole to go on. So I did actually use a bit of the scrap leather to fill in the gap at the bottom. You can also use foam, cork, leather, whatever it is that you've got around, just to really make sure you've got a super nice flat surface for your sole to go on. Next thing was to attach the sole. So like I said, I used my pre-made soles, which fit these lasts perfectly, and they are really the hero of this shoe because they go on so quickly and easily. You really do need a heat erasable pen to get this on super nicely, but if you don't have one, you can always scratch a mark into the outside of your shoe using an awl. But if you're a beginner, a heat erasable pen is a much more beginner-friendly option. The whole purpose of putting that line around the bottom of the shoe is so that you know exactly where you want to put your glue up to, and that's going to really help to make sure that the sole goes on nicely and that there are no little gaps that aren't secured when you put your sole on. At this point, the shoes are almost finished. The last step is to add in a nice padded insole sock, which is exactly the same shape as your insole, which keeps everything nice and easy. I used the exact same leather that I used for my lining just to keep it nice and clean. And as soon as I finished them, I put them on, which I was really pleased with because they're super comfy, they fit like a glove, and they were pretty easy to make. So I hope you found that walkthrough helpful. And of course, if you want a more detailed step-by-step instructions on how to make this, you can find that inside my online shoemaking course, along with loads of other tutorials. But I hope this walkthrough was helpful to give you a little taste of what's involved in making a pair of simple loafers like this, and I'll see you next time. Hi, I'm Amanda, and I thought I would give you a quick bit of information on my online courses. I run both an online course on how to make your own leather shoes from home and how to make your own luxury leather handbags from home as well. They're totally separate courses, so if you're only interested in one and not the other, you can enroll in them individually. But if you are interested in learning about leather accessories in general, you can enroll in both courses as a bundle. The shoemaking course has over 50 hours of video tutorials spanning across styles like sandals, shoes, sneakers, heels, right up to boots. We cover custom fitting as well as download print and go patterns, and all the information about the tools and supplies needed to make your own shoes from home. I've been running my shoemaking courses since 2010, and we've already got over 2,000 people worldwide enrolled in our online shoemaking community, and it is growing every day. My bag making online course is a little bit younger than my shoemaking one. However, it's just as good. I've got various different styles, including bags made on domestic sewing machines, as well as luxury hand stitching techniques. My bag making online course has already got 10 step-by-step tutorials, as well as luxury techniques such as edge dyeing, hardware, reinforcements, and bag accessories. I even have a section on small leather luxury goods. If you're interested in getting started but not quite ready to make the commitment just yet to the full course, I'll leave some links somewhere around here for my 2 free introduction courses, one of them on shoemaking and one of them on bag making. And if you are ready to make the full commitment, keep in mind you will have full lifetime access to the whole course, so you can pick it up and put it down however often you please. That's it from me. I always love to hear from you, so if you do have any questions, feel free to reach out anytime.